Good morning. Welcome to the Bee Oasis Urban Farm Garden Tour. It's November 25 and we're having a beautiful day to walk around the Bee Oasis Permacultured Urban Farm. So just a little background on myself and on what I've been creating here for the last 30 some years. Is that I took my horticultural apprenticeship in London, England, where I grew up, and that was a 3-year apprenticeship program, and then I did a 4th year in college for specializing in landscape construction. And then a few years later, it happened to be that I left England and came to the US in September of '81, and I've been here ever since, still doing the horticulture and landscaping for a company in the beginning, and then I went self-employed in '91. So I've been self-employed, and in '91 is when I came across this home site that I'm going to be telling you about. So it was a ranch style. We had the horrible Bermuda grass and a few trees and shrubs in front of the front windows over here. So a lot of that disappeared, that got out of the way. I didn't want to deal with all that grass, and the trees were inappropriate for their location and practicality. So I took those down and I replaced them with other trees. You can see as I morphed my way through, I reduced the lawn down to a very small patch, which is this size of this half oval right here. That is the area where the grass was left. Eventually the grass went and it just became a flower garden. So as in every garden, there's an evolution going on. This drawing is not up to date. I need to go back to my master copy and make the changes and put all the newer things on there. So as I was working for other people, I was bringing their plants that they no longer wanted, bringing their irrigation plants that they no longer wanted or they wanted to upgrade. And I basically landscaped my garden except for a few trees and the gravel that I put on to create a front that is what they call a xeriscape. So it's drylands focused, and that's the focus of the talk that we'll be doing as we go around on the tour. It'll be a drylands urban style focus with a heavy emphasis on rainwater harvesting. So a number of the sections, it will include harvesting the rain, because here we get the average here is 7.5 inches at the Sky Harbor Airport, but I usually get used to get more than that, and now I've been getting a little bit less. So climate change is happening. I'm having to evolve as well. My garden is having to evolve. So during that time, my girlfriend at the time in 2003 advised me that I should take a permaculture design course. That is the 72-hour, 10-day program where you learn about all things sustainable and regenerative in the way to create a home site. So it's the home site. Some areas are off-grid, some areas are on-grid, but it's more sustainable than all the other houses that are around me. Going over to the other side here, I'll show you a few of the amendments as changes happen on the site that are moving more towards the permaculture practice. So enlarging my vegetable garden, bringing in chickens, doubling the size of my composting processes, harvesting rainwater, 400-gallon steel cistern that is in the backyard, which we'll see later. You can see the location of the cistern here on the corner of the covered patio. So that's in the back. So that is harvesting the rain in that section of my roof, and one 1-inch rain on that area fills the 400-gallon tank. That's what makes it worthwhile spending money on harvesting the rain, because we have so many extended dry spells here in the Phoenix area, Phoenix Mesa area, that we have to harvest the rain. And my whole property, which is on a cul-de-sac, is on the north side of a cul-de-sac circle here, and so it's a pie shape, and so it's bigger in the back, which is great because my farm is mostly in the back, and my xeriscape landscape garden, which is morphed into a forest garden, that has become the evolution of this space. So I took my permaculture design course myself in 2003. The options for me at then was Los Angeles or Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I decided to go to Santa Fe. There happened to be a ecological university in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and that's where I spent my 10 days. Actually, it ended up being 11, but 10 days of instruction and hands-on stuff at the center where I stayed. I pitched my tent out in the meadow, and it happened to be July, August, so if anyone knows what's happening in July, August in this area, it's monsoon time. So yes, I weathered the thunderstorms most afternoon, evening, but it was a fantastic experience, and I absolutely recommend it. This book, the Introduction to Permaculture book, is the standard text for the permaculture design course. So we use that as well in the Phoenix area. I began educating people in the permaculture design course around the fall of '06 with Greg Peterson and many other people that were part at that time of the Phoenix Permaculture Guild. So we started the program here, and we were doing it fall and spring as part of our programs for quite a long while. I'm still continuing to do it. I continue to work with Greg Peterson of the Urban Farm and others, and we are still offering the Phoenix-based permaculture design course, which happens in the spring, from the spring into the summer. So February into May is what's happening this coming year, 2026. So I did put a timestamp on there for what's going on, because you know, things change, and I wanted you to know where I'm at right now. We work with the ethics and the principles of permaculture, and in 2006 I was struggling with the Mollison's Introduction to Permaculture and the Designer's Manual, because he was prolific. He was a professor and was prolific in his information, and so the principles are all for me scattered and not in a way that can be remembered easier. David Holmgren, Mollison's student and co-designer of permaculture, he came up with the 12 slightly different permaculture principles. I condensed and synergized Mollison's principles into the 8 basic. I'll go through the headers: observation, every element, work with nature, problem and solution, make the least change, the yield of the system, everything gardens, and every system is imagination and information intensive. These are the basic ones. You can expand or contract however you want. There's no set cut and dried rule for anything about permaculture, because the 10 chapters were sent out there, and they said, okay, this is the framework, and no matter where you are on the planet, you're still going to cover those 10 chapters in some degree or another. So we have a stronger emphasis on urban and drylands, whereas if you go to Hawaii, it will be more on tropical. If you went to New York, it will be more on temperate. So choose the place of the learning to have the examples of which you want to learn more about. I know there's several people that have done different ones here, but I took it as where I wanted to teach more, and so I decided to go more into the teaching. So I have done 2 teacher trainings, one with Tom Ward and Jude Hobbs, the second one with Kat Steele and Ben Fahia. So I really took it on myself to learn more so that I could share more. I call myself an educator, not a teacher. I share my information. I love doing it, and I love sharing with people. That's why this video is here. I know this video is going to be long. Warning, it's 2 hour plus, but it's packed with information, lots of garden hacks. It's well worth your time. You can put it on pause if you can't do it all the time, but I think you'll have fun doing it. So I welcome you to the tour, and hope you enjoy it, and please ask questions as we go around. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the rain, because we've had a lot of rain lately, and my rain harvesting machine has not been able to keep up with the 2 rounds of 2 inches in the saturated soil. So where some people are standing over there, that is a catchment. HOA would not know that that's a water harvesting area, but it also happens to be a adjunct driveway, and it also happens to be how I get my trailer in and out. That's a gate over there, but you wouldn't know that's a gate. That looks like a bit of fence, and I'm hiding all my junk behind there. So I do a lot of camouflage and a lot of ways that are within the guidelines. I have the question about this. So this is what I'm holding on to, that's 1 20-foot section of 1/2 inch rebar. It goes inside a 3/4 inch galvanized pipe socket. You see that? And then this is one that goes to here. I trip over my own feet. And then there's I got a second one that just lifts this one so I can make it rise up to the level where it's going to meet the underside of my roof. That's where it's attached. So we're talking arcology, right? We're talking strength of the arch. Hoop, which is still an arch, and it's still strong enough to hold this up. It'll rattle and move in the winds, but this has gone through 6 monsoons. It's getting a bit torn here and there, but that's okay. I mean, if that does what it's meant to do, which is shade the front of my vehicle, then that's what it's going to do. It also shades early morning summer sun from hitting this window. So stacking functions. Supporting my car, it's shading my building so I don't have to use so much electricity. This is the way the Permi kind of works. So Permi is looking for beneficial connections. If we can connect the elements in a web pattern, then each supports the other, then I have to do less. So intelligent design, as it were, for the earth. And the earth is our teacher. So the earth is telling me, okay, well, this used to be the same grade as the driveway. Right? You don't want to trip over, I hear. Well, I didn't care about that. I wanted this to be a harvester. So by putting in what we call urbanite, broken concrete upside down, it's shallow there and deeper there, which means I've turned the basin flat. So whatever rains here stays here. I don't have to do anything. I did the engineering up front, and then after that I forget about it. So they're making this as a basin, whatever, and it also has a drip system through it. It's a ladder system. So it comes in over on the far side over there, and then it ladders its way across, zigzags, or like going up the side of a hill, chicanes. What do they call those things? Switchbacks. So it's a switchback system through here. Inline drippers on the surface. Because I want to know where it is, because I put flowers in. So I put my flowers in already. The flowers are going to look great from the house, and as they peak up, they'll be seen from the street. So I'm doing the flowers and protecting them with my windbreak in the front edge, the southern edge, and I'm protecting my tender exotics on the inside with that windbreak, that Ruellia shrub right there, perennial. I have to keep pushing it back, because anyone have Ruellia?
Oh, heck yeah.
Did it take over? Every time you give it, was like mint. You give it water, it just takes over. So it's one of those things. So it's a very suitable plant. This is Wedelia, so it's another ground cover. And then anyone know what this is? Beautiful
Alfalfa.
purple flowers.
Alfalfa.
Alfalfa. Isn't it pretty?
It's gorgeous.
Right. And it's also food for my chickens. So I'm harvesting from here as and when I need it. Take it over, give my chickens a treat. Come. See, I was waiting for the one person said, why are you putting those nursery trays upside down? Because the towhees and the curved-bill thrashers can't get to the seed. Oh man, so simple. You just dumpster dive at any of the nurseries, because they throw them away. They throw them away. Please rescue the seed trays, and then just put your seeds in the ground, put the tray on top, you're done. The seeds gotta come up through, and then you just pull up a seed tray when they're starting to come up like that, and then just get them while they're young. And now you've got protected plants that are already growing, and you just stack that one up and it's ready for next time.
Because they're too tall for them to reach it.
The curved-bill thrasher can't get to the seeds. The doves can't get to the seeds.
Nice.
The towhees. Yes, I know. So silly little things like that we tend to overlook can be the difference between food and no food. Going back to where the gravelled area, I want to come back to that, because, and I'm going to draw a little picture on the ground. I don't know if you can see it, but so where I'm standing is a swale, but you can't see it because it's a subterranean swale. So what I did right here was, this is the surface. I dug down 8 inches and 4 by 4. In the bottom, I put a 4-inch perforated pipe. The perforated pipe, now the water is going to drizzle through this thick rock down into the container below the surface, cannot be seen by the HOA Gestapo. But I lived in the HOA before, so I know how maniacal they can be. I even went on the HOA board to try and make them see sense, but no, they wouldn't listen to an expert with 30 years of training in landscaping and the rest of it. Oh my goodness, I just got out of there as quick as I could. So there's one here, there's one there, there's one there, and there's one up there. What do you think they're feeding?
That row over there.
Trees. They're not doing anything for my neighbour's oleanders, they're toast. I apologise for don't look at that bit. Don't look at that bit. They'll get to it eventually. So I'm harvesting water in here, but it's still a driveway. It's the stacking function. You have to maximize the number of elements that you can put onto a home site so that it can be sustainable and or regenerative, hopefully towards the regenerative. But the way you intelligently stack things together in smaller places, you can pack like 3 home sites into one if you do it right. Good. Now we're
Can
gonna
you go over that again?
go. I will show you
Okay.
in the back.
Okay, great.
I have my
Yeah.
examples back there. I just wanted to introduce the concept
Okay.
because it's going to be next level in the back. This is
Okay.
only the baby steps.
Okay.
And
Do you,
then
do you worry about the
compaction.
damage?
I will come with my garden fork and I will loosen up the rock once in a while because the silt can build up as well. So I'll loosen it up. I might do a little tiny bit of maintenance to it, but it's not that big of a deal. Because it's only this little segment right there. They're gonna roll over it, and it's only big enough for a small car anyway.
Is it like these lines here?
Yes.
'Cause it looks like the
Yes.
ground.
So the direction of flow is this way, and this is perpendicular to the direction of flow. Yeah? Does that make more sense now? Swales always go cross on the contour, even though it's a hidden swale. It's still a swale because I'm intercepting the water, slow it, spread it, sink it, cover it.
But if you have the
Pipe,
pipe with the
perforated
hole
pipe.
in it,
Yeah.
they go this way or they go up and down?
The pipe is laid in the bottom of the trench.
I was misunderstanding
Yeah.
this
That's what
drawing.
I'm.
I thought it was going
Okay.
up.
No, I'll.
It goes
That's
this way.
That's just the grade of the earth is sloping down.
Like a leach pit, right?
Yep.
yeah. It's a modified French drain.
Yeah.
If I want to give it the technical term that the construction people do, French drains are made mostly to intercept extra water in temperate zones and get them off the property as quick as possible. So I flipped the French drain to be the harvester, and so I put a French drain system with the pipe, but it's staying there. It's not going anywhere. There's no way out but to that tree. So it's got a slight drop on the flow to catch the water here to move it over there. Again, I'm not here. I can be at the beach in Hawaii, and the harvesting machine is still working. That's called passive. Active is when you start adding pumps and other things that require other energy. I want to do as many things passive as possible. That shake cloth is passive. It's up and done, and I don't have to do anything. It takes me 10-15 minutes to put it up or take it down. That's doable for me. But if I got yeah, I don't want to go there. Yeah.
Is that the,
supply
so-
enough water to not require additional irrigation over there?
yeah, is that the only water it
There's
gets?
no. This is off grid. So that tree and that tree,
Nice.
they're all growing just off rainwater. That's it. Now, when it was young, I had the water in this container, which is my next segment. So if you're tall enough, you can see the middle of the guttering right above your head there, Dory. But there's a peak right there. That's the middle. That's the high point. So it flows that way and that way. So it goes this way to the rain chain. So it ends up in the flower bed, and it goes the other direction into the 100-gallon galvanized, which I got from someone in Lehigh. They had 4 of them, so I bought 4 and I sold 3 and paid for the 1. Very capitalistic there, Mr. Don. So this one overflows into a 55-gallon drum behind it, and so this water, coming back to where I started, would have been put on the new plants just to get the roots established. No matter if they're any new plant, no matter what, babies, they have to be taken care of until they're established and get their roots out. Once the roots are out, the head will follow. But that just sat and sat and sat and sat for a while, and then 4 years later it started to grow. So that's kind of the way that the natives are. You have to be patient on the natives. They're doing all the work underground. They're getting their structure in before they get their head going. Alright, that's this bit, that's that bit, that's that bit, that bit, that bit, that.
There had
Okay.
been a question about bending the rebar. How did you get it to that shape?
Okay, so it's really easy to get a 20-foot section to bend that shape. It's super, super easy. You just stick one end in the other, and then you just bend the other one down, and you just put it in the socket. And then that socket is bigger, so I can put the 2 in there. Even though it looks like there's 3, there's only 2 actually going in the pipe, because I put the extender on it to create the lift, to get it overhead so I wouldn't keep losing my hat every time I went in the house, and my vehicle could go underneath. My brother and I did it together. It is a 2-person job. I use a 20-foot piece of PVC pipe to play with, to get the distances right, and the curve right, and the this and that right. So I used that. It was a lot easier to handle a PVC pipe than it was a piece of rebar. So we worked it out. And when you come through here, you can see how I attached it to the rafters, the deck 2x6s. You can see how I put it in there. It's just a piece of electrical 1/2-inch conduit where I cut off 4 inches, and then I hammered flat the end, so I had a 3-foot socket and a 1-inch place where I could screw to the structure of the building. That's it. That's how it's attached to the house. Other than that, there's nothing else. It's really simple. I want to keep it as simple as I can because I want to be able to fix it. It's not sustainable unless you can maintain it. Don't put things up on your house that you can't fix, maintain, because otherwise you're not a homestead. You got to be able to figure out when it's right time for you to bring in a new element, like solar panels or something like that. Go to a class first, get the gear from a guy that's knowledgeable or a person that's knowledgeable, and then do it that way. Only use it where you need it. You don't need the whole house, you just need a few things. Power goes out, you need power for what? Fridge, freezer. First things, fans. Just run a few fridge, freezer, fans. You'll be able to survive a 4-hour, 5-hour, even 2-day if you have to. Just make your own evaporative cooler in the house. Speaking of evap coolers, see the cube up on top of the roof? Evap cooler. I have a piggyback system. It came with the house. I've been rocking that evap cooler every summer since. Not in the monsoon time. It doesn't work during the monsoon time. But April, May, October, wherever in there. Well, it used to be October. It's not October anymore. Everything's changing, right? The dome has finally got to me. Normally I've been getting 10 inches of rain. That was my normal pattern, between 8 and 12. 10 was my average for years and years and years, until about 3 years ago. And then the dome, the heat island effect, moved from Central Phoenix and included my space.
Did they ask your permission?
2 or 3 miles? No, they did not. That was a very good question. They didn't ask permission. So 4 miles from here, they're still getting more water than I am right here. It's that difference. So I'm getting more like 5 inches of rain now. And then add to that all the 110s that we're getting, 30, 60 days of 110 or around. I've had a real struggle, and I'll talk about that when I get into the back. Because that's another important piece that we're going to be up against, which is salination. For those haughty people, you know what I mean. Salt in the soil is bad, bad, bad. Nothing can germinate in that. Yeah. All right, we're going to start to move down that way as you... Say, hey Don, What about?
Hey Don, what's this one?
That is a very good landscape shrub. I recommend this by any swimming pools. No stickers, small flowers, doesn't shed. You can just see the purple flowers starting to come on them. And then this thing looks like a waterfall. I just love the appearance of the waterfall. So again, so that's good for bees. This plant's good for bees. This is good for bees. That's good for bees. That's good for bees. This is good for bees. That's good for bees. Do you get the hint? Because this is called the Bee Oasis for a reason. I'm the host site for the native bees and whatever bees come along. The not the bumbles. Well, actually, one time I had bumbles, but yeah, that's another story I won't get into right now. But a lot of the carpenter bees and the pollinators and stuff, it's all part of it. Can you hear me back there? Just snuggle up. There's room over here if you want.
Yeah, come on in. What tree is this?
So this tree and the one that's right next to you, it's the same little baby. That baby is a root sucker off of that tree, and that tree is actually a root sucker off of that tree. So I planted that one, and I planted one in the back, just on the other side of the fence. Those are the landscape trees that I chose at the time. I just happened to rock it because these happen to be excellent nectar trees. So the bees really love this. The hummingbirds love it. The little vireos love it. It's just a great tree. I got nests, leftover nest bit right there. I've left it on the chair so you can see the nest. There's another nest there. It's one of the little vireos that go in the tunnels. It's a tunnel nest. You know, really.
Those are sisters.
Cisterns.
They
Yes.
have necks.
Yes, they do. They're very good. Indian. Yeah, it comes from India. So the wood on it is actually a production wood. So they actually have forests of this in India because it's a semi-tropical plant, which means that it can tolerate the Arizona heat, but it loves water. This one grew here. Why? Because it's next door to what? A lawn. It's opportunistic. It can take over like a flood irrigated lot. Bad choice.
Because the roots can be invasive.
The roots can be invasive, and they'll pop up new trees wherever. I mean, if they're getting all that extra water, they're going to really go for it, and they're going to create their own microclimate forest. So we're standing in the western portion of my front yard forest, right? So it's got the layers of the forest concept, the 7-layer forest concept. It doesn't have all the layers in it, but it's a work in progress. I wanted this on my west side. Why? Shade and windbreak. Thank you. The predominantly drying, desiccating winds come from the southwest, so that is protecting that. My vegetables and/or flowers in the flower garden. See how I'm married to that. You see, even though they're living apart, right? Long distance relationship, right? But they're still collaborating together. One supports the other and vice versa. That brings in the bees, which also come to this. So, and then it's able to produce its seed. So now the seed is drying out. There's a couple of dry ones in there. I grew up in England. We had sycamores. You remember the sycamores, the aeroplanes, the helicopters? You took them off the tree and you threw them, yeah, it's like that. Yeah, they spin just a little bit. They don't helicopter like the ones on the sycamore trees. Those are fun.
Question: how come you have cans on the top of the rebar?
My eyes.
Really?
Yeah. Because when I'm maintaining the bush, I want to protect my. See how simple that is. Look. And it yes. See, and it rattles in the wind. You know, it's kind of cool. And then I got leftovers there. See my sculpture.
Cool.
So I got left. So the whirlybird is left over from the roof when I had an asphalt roof, and then the bicycle wheel is one of the projects I made. I made for a Montessori school down the road. I made a hungry caterpillar out of bicycle wheels.
Nice.
So cool. Had so much fun. I had more fun than the kids had fun. And then the four directions propeller thing that came out of the old carrier AC unit that was on the roof
Oh wow.
before I got the heat pump. What else was there? There's another little bicycle wheel. It's just leftovers. I just said, I'm having fun today. I'm going to create a sculpture here. The ocotillo. That is not an ocotillo bought from a store. That is prunings. You can prune off a stem of an ocotillo, and then you can put it in a little circle with a rebar in the middle, holding it up, and you can start growing it again. So you don't have to buy the whole thing with the root on the end. It's a cacti, or semi-cactus anyway. It's not a true cactus. It's cactus-ish. So and I did the same thing to the cirrus.
You just stick it in the ground?
Yeah, just 4 inches. Just barely in the ground. That's why the rebar there is to hold the stick up until it roots.
Make a living fence out of it.
You can make a living fence out of ocotillo.
You do see people with fences.
Yes.
And they're all growing.
Yes. Yes, savannas, living fences throughout their whole community. So this was the same way. So I did rebar in the middle, you can barely see it, and then 5 stems around it, and then each one has grown now, it's become a clump. So,
How old is that? Whoops. Sorry.
10, 15 years old. The one over there, the totem pole, that was a transplant from the previous house I lived at. And so I put that in again, 5 clusters around the rebar. That's what that clump is. Same process. I was doing this before I even knew I was doing this. It was just a matter of need, right? I didn't have the money, but I had some time, and I had the brain power to say, how can I make this work without going to the nursery and paying $100 for this thing, when I could just do it by harvesting off of my customers' plants. It just happened to be leaning too far over. Oh yeah, that's a nice piece. We'll take that one. Got to work in the grey sometimes. Or the big corporations do it. So why can't I, as an individual, also just go in that? There's a swale here. There's a swale somewhere under here, and then there's a swale very, very distinctly right here. So I used to back up my truck. This is why we have a driveway here. Until I got my back wheels went in here, which meant my tailgate dropped down. So now I wasn't lifting here, I was lifting there. And going to my shed, which is back there. My equipment and my tools and whatever are back there. So that's why this is here. It's still here because it's the second driveway. Christy's vehicle was here in the shade a little while ago. Here's some sections of trimmings that I've got. There's also some flower stalks. So this is a flower stalk off of the soap tree yucca. Now, I just have it for its looks. I'm waiting for that. No, Don. There's no way it can just be for looks. It's got. You can eat the petals. So the petals of a yucca plant are edible. They taste a little bit like bitter lettuce. And the Mediterranean people harvest it all the time. They'll put olive oil and some other bits, and they'll do a salad toss with the olive oil and the yucca flowers, and that's how they do it. And it also says something underground. It's in the name. Did you hear the names? Soap, from the soap tree yucca. So the roots are saponific, meaning they can grind them into a pestle and make very strong soap.
Can you do it without hurting the plant?
Yeah, you just dig nearby without hurting yourself, because every one of these is a dagger. Seriously. So yeah, you can get down there and just take a little bit of root. You just harvest a little bit, it'd be fine. And you know, the native people of this land probably used that to get the other sap off their hands. You can use this plant right here. So this bush right here, anyone know the name of this bush?
Tuberosa.
Tuberosa! Tuberosa. Here. Watch.
Eat it. Oh, you love eating flowers. It's great.
Chew, and you get the sweet bit in the middle. So it's got nectar in it, so it's got a sweet taste to it. So there's enough on there, probably for most people to have a taste it. So back where the gentleman in the green shirt is, that's a wolfberry there. There's a wolfberry over here. Look this way. There's a wolfberry there, and there's a wolfberry there. Look how the one under the tree is doing better than the one that's getting more sun. If you go around Gilbert, riparian,
Oh, that's good.
there's lots of wolfberries there. So I harvest my wolfberries from here, and I don't have to go to that place anymore because they got strange looks. I got my bowl in my hand, you know. I'm like, is anyone looking?
What
Is
do they
anyone
look
looking
like?
at me?
What do the berries look like?
Well, they're little red berries.
Oh,
They
okay.
come in like April, May time, right in there. They are the Sonoran goji berry.
Oh,
Very high in nutrients.
okay.
It's very good. You can easily dry them and keep them, store them later.
Oh.
The goji berry, Sonoran goji berry. Behind you are my array of stuff, and I happen to have the green barrel. So I do a swapsies. So when I'm working on someone's place and they got some good leaves, I'll bag the leaves separate from all of the other brush, and I'll bring those leaves home. These are not my leaves. This is my mulch now, but they're not my leaves. Oh yeah? You got a question from the back? I'm looking for my bit of wood. No, not that. Oh, I use this. So, since everyone's looking right here, even though
Wow, that's good.
there is the gravel. This is composting in situ, and it's also my sponge. So when it rains here, it stays here. That's the benefit of the mulch. Broken down into forest. I'm building a forest in the desert.
So you just put it over your gravel, the gravel that was here.
The where the gentleman's standing back there is what was here.
So
A
you just
quarter-
put it
a quarter
over the
minus
top,
gravel.
You didn't take the gravel off.
I
you
didn't
just
even
put it
take the gravel off. It doesn't matter. Just put it right over the top of the gravel.
Are there particular tree types that you
Would not
like?
do. Yes, there's some do's and don'ts, but it depends. It depends what you're using it for. If you don't want anything to grow, put down eucalyptus. Right? It's a suppressant, or pecan, or black walnut. They're all suppressants. They're all allelopathic. So it's a good question. So you can put that for the walkways, but don't put it where you want to grow things. Right, so anything, pretty much most other things, I wouldn't do oleander. I'd prune my neighbor's oleander off my property. I still put it in the bin, but I put it in the black bin because it's not. I don't feel it's appropriate to put it into the composting system of the city of Mesa, the Salt River landfill over there. That's where the green bin goes, so I do that. But, oh, by the way, and don't tell anyone, the city of Mesa says that I can't recycle cereal board. And I said, seriously, why not? It's paper. apparently they don't have a place to sell it or whatever. So I just shred it up and put it in the green waste with my green brush, which goes in the grinder, which becomes mulch. It's silly that they don't think outside the box. It's just this way and no way, and I'm not that way.
What is
Cereal box. It's the cereal boxes.
Oh, because it's shiny on the
Mm,
one side. That's, yeah, Chandler's the same.
that's such a weak excuse. Yeah. No, but the city of Mesa says anything that comes into your mailbox is recyclable. It's shiny.
Yeah.
All of those flyers, right? I said, what? That don't make no sense at all. What have you been smoking?
Don, I have a question about
Yes.
eucalyptus being allelopathic.
Yes.
Is it the roots? Is it something that
Most
exudes through the roots that makes it allelopathic, or is it
Yes.
the leaf drop that makes it allelopathic?
both.
Oh, okay.
So the leaves itself have some of that chemical in them.
Okay.
Salt cedar is like the worst,
Mhm.
or the best, whichever way you want to look at it. It's great for them, not good for anything else that wants to survive. Even creosote is allelopathic. You go to a flat plateau with just creosote. It's just creosote. It's the only thing you can manage in there because it's maintained. The mother plant spirals out. This is my domain, my queendom.
I think bougainvillea is the same, isn't it? I noticed no weeds growing near my bougainvillea bush.
I don't know about the bougainvillea as much. I know it's all through Hawaii, but beyond that, I don't know much more.
What are your thoughts on oleander and not putting the oleander leaves down?
I
Because it's poisonous?
don't choose to because it's poisonous.
Yeah.
So birds, my chickens, the dog, little kids coming through. I don't want them to start because I'm having them eat my yard. I don't want them eating the wrong thing as well. So I have to keep that in the back of my mind.
Do you think those would work to keep Bermuda grass from growing?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not that
just-
type of suppression. It
Okay.
suppresses germination
Okay.
for the most part. That's what it suppresses.
anything help get rid of it?
Vinegar and salt?
You don't want to do the salt, do you?
Yeah.
Because then you got a germination problem later.
Well,
so
if you don't want anything ever.
I mean, you can solarize, but you're killing everything, in however depth it is, and you can only do that in midsummer because it has to steam.
With the black.
Put the plastic, whether it's clear or black, that doesn't matter. You have to seal the edges. You have to make it steam. You have to water underneath the solarization, and then put the plastic back on and let the sun work on it for a few days. And that steaming process is what kills the roots and everything else in that zone. It is just as bad as.
It's like the nuclear option.
Yeah, but if you got Bermuda and you can't get rid of it, that maybe that's the only way. I mean, some people just literally go patch by patch and sieve it out. It's really quarter inch sieve to get those little root sprouts out, and just keep working on it. And that is just like hard labor. Yeah.
Use a boiling kettle to get the weeds and the expansion joints in the concrete.
And that works? Just
Oh yeah,
boiling water?
just the
Yeah.
instantly become.
Right, that will do it. The hot water part of it. I want you to feel like you can do some of these things after we finish this tour, because I want you to go with tools in your pocket, and in your pocket up here, and walk away and say, okay, I can do that. I can do that seed tray thing. Yeah, I can take my extended litter picker-upper and pick those out of the dumpster. You don't have to go in the dumpster to get it. You just have to be planned for it. You just have to hook it out, Take the golf club, right? Fellas, ladies, golf club, yeah? You get the picture? You're just putting along.
California fires, they're using myco-remediation.
Yes.
Yeah.
You restore the
To
land.
restore the-
Yeah. Because seeds won't germinate if it doesn't have the conditions available for it to thrive. It's just going to sit there, or it's just going to flow down the hill, and then you're just left with bare rock and nothing will grow except cactus. Hence desertification. That's how it works. And the fires, those fires baked that topsoil. Baked it. It's completely dead, inert. That's why you have to restore it. You have to put the life back into it. I'm generating life. Farmers feed their plants through their soil. Feed the soil to feed the plants to feed the person. It's a continuous loop. If we don't feed the soil, we exhaust it. It won't last 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 5,000 years, like some places. You like my pretty little vine there? That's a little transplant. So in the back I got a passion vine, so that's a native passion vine. You see how I switched the conversation? Yeah. See how I did that? Just turned the other way. Got my back.
Wait a minute, I want to go back to this.
I'll show you the book, mate. I'll show you the book.
Okay, well, so what I was thinking is you take the eucalyptus
Yes.
and the oleander, you make it into mulch, and you put it over the Bermuda.
It's only gonna stop germination. That's what it stops. That's what it stops. It inhibits other things from growing underneath that plant. So that's good for which is what you want on the pathway. You don't want the weeds growing, because that's work. Weeds everywhere else is compost. Weeds are not bad. Just weeds are just in the wrong place for the wrong reason. We just need to give it another reason. I'll show you that in back.
Okay, carry on, mate.
Cheers.
Is this passion?
Cheerio. Ta-ta. Tally-ho. What? So my little setup over here, so I got another short section of guttering under the roof edge, and it just pours down, cascade. It's my waterfall. It's really pretty to watch when it's really raining. And it goes into that upper container, and that I call my surge pot. So it's taking the surge of water, putting it in the container. Now on the back side of it, which you can't see from here, there's the faucet on the back. It's always on because it's a surge pot. It takes the first amount of rain, then where you're walking, Sorry, yeah, that's fair. Fine. So the hose pipe goes from the tank across the ground right here, and the hose goes over there to the citrus tree. I'm on the beach in Hawaii. It rains here, the water goes to the citrus, which is an exotic, right? Other trees out front don't matter. Exotics do. They need the deeper water. They need the rainwater. Even the flood waters that we get from the canyons, it's not the same as rainwater. It's alive, man. Yeah, it's alive.
Does this passion vine have fruit? Is this a fruiting one?
Well, for the most part,
The passion.
the passion vine. The passion vine is a fruiting one, but it's a native, and it's like the size of a grape. It's not the plum, but it's more of a grape. But man, is it packed with flavor. You just bite into it, and the thing literally explodes in your mouth. It is just surreal, man. I love it. It's great. And the butterflies love it. They have the little lavender white, little small, like one, and you see them in the back. So we have to go to the back now, right?
Do it.
Those are hollyhocks. So they've got 1, 2, 3, and there's another one out front, hollyhocks. They just stay
Edible
near,
flowers.
they
I didn't know that till
don't
yesterday. He told me.
So keep coming in until, look up there to your left, you can see one of the B blocks up to the left there. That's tucking up under the house. You'll see more. There's more over on the patio over there. I'm just doing that one.
Oh, that's for the
This is the east portion of the house. So yes, this is the east side.
Is it just carpenter bees or any bee will go in that?
No, this is mostly for the mason bee and the leaf rolling bee. The carpenter bees, I don't even do anything because they drill their own hole.
Yeah, right.
So I just have a wood pile where I never take the wood off the bottom. That's for the carpenters. It's for the bees, as they say, and everything else. So I've been working really hard since September on restoring my garden, which you can see I've got grit and I've got volcanic chips and I've got charcoal and I've got everything I've mixed into here. But before that, I took away the top 2 inches. So I physically shoveled up into buckets and let it go to the new place in the sky somewhere, and then I brought all the nutrients back in again, and I used my water drill and I punched holes, because remember I said out there on the driveway that I'm getting less water and more 110 plus, so I'm getting more evaporation while I'm getting less water. So therein lies my dilemma. Part of that is also because I felt, in my intuition, felt that there was going to be a compaction layer somewhere in here. And when I drove down my water drill, I met it at about this, 3/4 down. I met a barrier. The drill wouldn't go through it until I left it, spun it a bit more, poked it a bit more, and finally I broke through that compaction layer. That is most likely from when they constructed the house. I didn't have a problem until I got the 110s and the less water. It was doing fine before that. So this is, any questions about that piece?
So drilling down to try to saturate maize so that it will retain more water, is that the point?
I emptied out my barrels, emptied everything out. I soaked this, I put on 3 inches of water, because 3 inches of water will push down 3 feet.
Okay.
That's a rule of thumb in horticultural terms. 1 inch of water will go down 1 foot, therefore 2 inches will go down, and so forth. So that's when you know you're getting some good depth to it. So in the process of rebuilding the soil, it's still very wet because we've had a lot of rain. But what I'm aiming for is I'm aiming for the kind of like the porous nature of it. It's got spaces. I need spaces. Pore spaces means nutrients can travel. If I have compaction, I have no pore space. The water won't go through that barrier because now it's compacted. So by my adding all of these amendments, so gypsum is one thing. Gypsum, and I'm not kidding, the word is flocculate. I will say that, pronunciate it very clearly, flocculate, which means to gather. So they take the clay platelets. Clay is a plate where grit and gravel are more angular. Clay particles are platelets, and they stack on each other. So they make very good ponds, right? Clay ponds. They make very good pots because they platelets. So you want it, so the gypsum added to the soil will clump those platelets together and make it look like sand. So now you get more flow in the soil, yeah. And but you got to be able to wash the salts through. The salts accumulate on the surface. Can you see a little bit of whiteness to that? That's partly the gypsum, but also partly the condition that I'm dealing with. Now, why do I have boards? I mean, this is a board walk, right? Or is it a walk board? I can't figure out which it is. But the boards are here for a reason, right?
So you don't compact it.
So I don't recompact my garden that I've just dug over, yes. And I learned in the beginning that I needed to elevate the boards. Oh, come on, cooperate. So this one has a 2x4 redwood, and this is a 4x4 redwood. So I don't have to have a complete redwood board. It's a white pine board. But I elevated it off of the soil so it doesn't degrade so fast. Yes, I have to paint it once a year. I'll do that. I don't mind doing that. These are the keyhole design gardens concepts. It's just a piece of plywood. Go harvest that from any construction site. They throw it away like crazy. If it's in the construction bin, it's free to go. They don't want you going in the bin for your safety and their liability. So I don't worry about it. Hi Deb.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. Come on in. You'll catch up. So tomatoes I do generally in a guild, which is companion planting. So there's carrots growing in the back. There's a lissum over here. There was a marigold over there. It didn't like it for whatever reason. So those are around my primary plant, which is the tomato.
Yours overwinter, or will do you
They might
freeze here?
overwinter if I cover them and put twinkle lights below. I have some light get up over there that I put under these, and I try and keep them going as long as I can. If we get a freeze, that's great. I do want a freeze, but let it be January, not December. Late December maybe. Freeze all you want. It kills the bugs, kills the mosquitoes. We do need freezes. It's just not too many.
Could you use alfalfa for some of the saltier stuff to help clean that up?
Yes,
Okay.
and I have done that from time to time. I also use vetch.
Okay.
So this is like midway. So if you see over here, you see these pock marks in here. So in between the pock marks, I've done a series of holes with a post hole digger, and then I put angular gravel, pea gravel-ish like stuff in the bottom that's that deep down. So that is, I put those French chimneys in the French drain category in here to get the water away from the surface. I want that water down so I lose less water. And then my drill, I go back through it. You see I punched all the holes through about a week ago, and then the rains came, and then I couldn't do anything with it. So I just said, fine, it's going to be today's lesson about how I use my water drill, which I show people if they want to see it. They're hard to find, but very valuable to have, especially in this situation. So I picked it up. Now you see I've got other defense mechanisms, right? Right. Yeah. It's your office waste paper basket and your fruit bowl basket. Just I keep them because at least it gets a start. If they can get started, then they can deal with a few birds here and there.
When you constructed this, so you built this border, did you dig down first, or did you just start with what was there and you made
Yes.
compost?
So back in the 90s when I was here, this was more of a recreational area. This was still a piece of grass back here when I got into the house, so I left it a bit of grass. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna keep it a grassy area, and it was a 20 by 30. It went back to where the aloes are, 10 more feet back that way. There was no fire pit. So I made the border, one brick border, and it was my volleyball. So I had a volleyball net up, and I played volleyball with my social groups. And then I couldn't deal with the grass no more, so I took out the grass and I put sand in. So now I had a sand volleyball for a while. I said, fine, I'm gonna garden here. So I moved everything over by 10 feet from that side. And then I doubled the brick on here, so it's a double layer of brick. So it's slightly raised, but it's still a harvester. See how the brick is higher than the soil. So again, it's going to catch up to a 1-inch rain in here, no problem, 2-inch rain in some areas. So I wanted it to be a water harvester, but I also knew that I was dealing with heavy clay. And the only way to deal with that is by adding amendments to it. So I brought in a bale of peat before I knew how bad that was for the planet. And I brought in truckloads of mulch, and I had all the sand, so all the sand came in. So all of that got mixed together and created the beginnings of this. Oh, and the first thing I planted was night crawlers. Before the plants went in, the night crawlers went in. So once I planted, there used to be a Kmart right there, where there's a Goodwill now. That is part of the Kmart. So they had a fishing tackle bit. You could go and get to the fridge. So night crawlers went in. So my night crawlers are my night crew. Right? My bacteria and fungi are my 24/7 crew. And my chickens are my day crew. So the chickens are in their fall location. They're going to be over there during the winter. They're in this area in the spring, in the middle, in the greatest amount of shade in the summer. I disassemble, reassemble, so the chickens just get moved. So now the chickens are doing the work. They're going to prepare that space for me in my springtime garden. They eat the worms that they find on the surface in the morning, the leftovers. You understand leftovers? They're leftover, but they're also food, leftovers. So I won't go there anymore. So they don't get rid of the worms, but they get all the other bugs. They get all the crawling bugs, but they also eat all the seeds, the weed seeds. So they clear the area out. So all I got to do is rake off the top, take all the excess. You can see by looking at the chicken coop run over there, you see there's a lot of debris on the ground. Chickens like to scratch and like to search, so you throw the food into the mulchy stuff, so they have to work for the food. And then the smaller birds, like the sparrows, can't get to it because they don't have the ability to move all that stuff out of the way. And that gives them something to do, otherwise they're bored. It's got nothing to do. It's not like they are in the jungle. They're jungle fowl, by the way. So are parrots. HOA. Oh, I want to bring in 10 jungle fowl because the city of Mesa says I can have 10 jungle fowl on my property, and they got to say, okay, because you nailed them already. Chickens come from the jungle. Asia and Latin America in particular, you know, the big fat ones are the ones that they bred to be that way in Europe. They took a jungle bird and they moved it to Europe, and then it didn't like it. So they started to grow it out bigger, fatter, feathers and everything, and that's how they get the two types, the heavy ones and the light ones. The light ones do better here in Arizona. The Araucana, the Buff Orpington, the red rock or whatever it is. Those barred rock. Rhode Island red. So thank you very much. Yes. So the other tools I use in here. This is my hand tool. When I'm working in my keyhole bed right in here, I can get the nail down, and I can do any scratching I want to do. I can pull out a wig like that, feed it to the chickens, and I'm working with just a simple little hand tool. Now, if I'm doing the weeding, and I want to do the weeding, and I want to have the root left. I don't care if it grows again. It's just more for the compost pile. It's not a problem. So I'll take my hook, and just below the surface, I cut the root. Now the root is left. If this were a mature malva or cheeseweed, this is edible. This could go to the salad bowl inside, or the compost pile, or to the chickens. Right, stacking functions again. Weeds are my friends, I don't care. So I take this, now the root that's left is going to decompose, and however deep that root has gone into the ground is a channel for the water to flow through. That's why it was a great suggestion to do alfalfa in the bed, because alfalfa goes that deep. I can't dig that deep, can you? No. So we got to be intelligent about how we work and maintain our property. By understanding how plants grow, we can make them, we can have them serve us better. So we work less. That's my goal. I want to work less and enjoy more. Greg talks about the abundance of the garden, right? All of the perennials that grow back. So these are the perennials that grow back. This is not my enemy, it's my friend. Things that are my enemy maybe are the spurge. Right? Scourge of the spurge. So that, you know, I don't even put that in the chair, I just put it there, and it's gonna solarize. All of these little thistles that are growing over in here, you know, they're all future food. I didn't even dig that area because I needed greens for the chickens. How do you get a orange yolk on a chicken's egg? You give them veggies. They need the minerals and the vitamins for them as well. So, what did they find? You found something over there. There's some things for the kids to play on that rack over there on the side over there by the wall. There's like a bat and a thing. Yeah, that shelf unit.
What's the black rocks for?
Black? They're not rocks.
Charcoal?
Yes, charcoal. So, good question. So why do I put charcoal in here? Houses. Condominiums. It's a village for bacteria. Everywhere there was a phloem or xylem vessel, for you haughty people, phloem takes the food down, and the xylem vessels take the water up in a tree or plant or whatever it is. So each one of these has the phloem and xylem vessels in them from when they were young to wherever they are now. So when you harvest this from other people's campfires, you don't have to make it yourself. Just go camping, enjoy nature, and make sure you got a bucket and spade with you and a sieve, and bring home the charcoal. Bring home the charcoal. It's in Latin America, Brazil, it's called tierra preta. Black earth, black gold, they call it. When they sell it, they call it black gold. When it's in the earth, they call it the black earth. And when they're travelers, like the native people of this land, they would go from their little pocket, meadow to meadow to meadow, through the seasons. Because they couldn't stay on one piece of land for an eternity. It wasn't healthy or productive for the land or the people. So they relocated to their next camp, and they worked that ground. And so when they cleared the forest, they burned it, and then they harvested the charcoal, and then they dug it into their garden beds, and they grew their plants. So I'm taking a page out of their book, because they've been doing it for millennia. So let's copy what's been done in the ancient societies around the world. Let's remember that. And that's what Mollison did. Mollison, who wrote the book about permaculture, traveled the world and said, okay, this is how they do it there. I'm going to write all that down. I'm going to video catalog it. And he traveled all over doing those kind of things. And so that's where this information came from. So I'm using what other people have done. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm regurgitating.
So if you're desperate
Yes.
and you haven't been camping for a while,
Yes.
can you buy bagged charcoal and that works?
Bagged charcoal has
They have the lump charcoal you can buy.
lump charcoal.
Lump charcoal, like hardwood charcoal.
It's a hardwood charcoal, yeah. It has no chemicals in it.
Okay.
Yeah, because the regular stuff has the chemical for lighting it.
Lava rocks work too.
Lava rock works as well for that purpose. So I got lots of little lava rock in here. That's this little. You can get that different sizes from the rock stores, like A&A Materials or the Pioneer Rock. They sell and it's light, so this is not going to add weight. The other rock I put is that, like this rock you're standing on. There's some of that in here as well. This little rock right here. I'm just trying to break open the clay so I can get more drainage going on.
John, should I worry about charcoal affecting the pH of my soil?
No.
It's totally not a problem. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Carrots? Like, with all the rocks and stuff, do you still grow carrots?
Grow carrots. Oh yeah. Yeah, that there's a tray of carrot seedlings right there. Oh yeah, not a problem at all. Carrot roots are just push things aside.
Oh.
It doesn't. Yeah. Whatever.
Little rocks, though, not big rocks.
I'm big and strong. Yes.
But the effect of the charcoal, I guess I missed that in the beginning. It's
the purpose of the charcoal is to give a space for the bacteria to live, and also it absorbs poison. So if any poison in the soil, charcoal is going to absorb the poison and contain it in there, and the bacteria are going to deal with it. You don't have to. It's part of the bioremediation process. The other tools I use in here are the hula hoe, which creates my seed till. So I don't dig. I don't normally dig like that. I crack. So what I mean by cracking is no turning. So I'm going to push it down and I'm going to crack it. Cracking. Now, to get the seed till, I'm just going to take the hula hoe and I'm just going to whip it back and forth like that to create the area where the seed goes in, and then I'm done. I don't have to do the heavy work. Why? Because I don't want to destroy the work that I've done building my bacteria. Bacteria have different tropic levels of desirable soil and conditions. Meaning that if I take the top third of the fork and put it on the bottom, I've taken the top bacteria, which likes a little bit of light, and I'm taking the bottom bacteria that doesn't like any light, and I've reversed them, and now they gotta switch. They got to move. All that makes longer time for the soil to recover. So regenerative agriculture doesn't do plowing. They have a specialized plow. It's called a keyline plow. It does the cracking kind of thing with like samurai sword blades on the back of the tractor, and it makes a cut through it. And then there's a foot on the bottom, and so that makes a cut through the soil and then a channel down below, and then there's no other disruption to the surface of the soil, so there's no erosion loss. There's no wind to blow it away when it gets really dry. the practices that we've been doing that are commercial farming are destroying the soil biome.
All that carbon you capture when you leave those roots in the ground gets released in utilities.
Exactly. Right, so I don't want to do that. So I'm moving away from that. The other tool I use is a tool that is a manual lawn thatcher. You can still buy them. This makes a great rake. It's a very good rake, but it's also great for pitter-pattering, breaking down the clods. If I get a clod on the surface, I can use it and just break it up and move it around a bit, and now I've got a place where I can put some seed. This is still very wet. I would not ever advise you to work the soil this wet. It's a bad thing to do. Last tool I have that I use is like to cut a row. You use this little tool right here. So you just cut a row like that. Now you've got the seeds, you put your peas in there or whatever, and then you just come back and you just put it back over. Done. Now they do hand sizes of these as well. You don't have to have this, but if you're doing rows, then this is a tool, very tool. I tend to do some rows. I mix it up. There's other plants in between these cabbages. The onions are here, the lettuce is there. I've got toys over here because they need more sun. They're the native green onions. Cauliflower, beets, parsnips, carrots, all of those bits and pieces, they're all mixed in. I have no attachment to whatever grows. If it's going to grow, it's going to grow. Otherwise I'm going to just be stressed about it all the time.
You mentioned that if you cover the tomatoes, then you might help them through the winter.
Yes.
Do you cover up there or you cover just over there?
I'm going to put a stake down in the middle with a can on top or some other kind of a extension, and then drape the cotton sheets over it.
Just a cotton sheet.
Cotton sheets. Yeah, don't go in fancy. No polyester. Cotton. It has to breathe. Polyester would be like putting a sheet over it, a plastic sheet over it, and it will not be good.
These are scarecrows?
Yeah, kind of. They kind of move in the wind and stuff. What I'm going to do is, I thought about this. I'm going to put a red dot in the middle. Get the eyes. Got to get the eyes in there. The eyes are looking at you. So I'm going to get the eyes on there. So we'll see. These are my baked beans, all the way from England. My baked bean cans, pop my baked beans. Bangers and mash night. Yes, of course. And then I pick up, displays and bits of fence panel and whatever from dumpsters all over the place. So I didn't buy these. I just drug them out of the bin. I'm frugal. Oh, here and there on the corner, it's not looking very good right now. I'll probably cut one of the things, getting it out of my shade block. But this is the passion vine, and there's the fruit. See it?
Will that freeze in the winter? Do you have to worry about that?
Yes, it does freeze. And there's a flower, look. It's not open yet, but that's a flower. If you look around, you'll probably see another flower somewhere. They're small, insignificant, like most things in the desert, but they're again, it's power packed. So turn your heads this way. Change places if you want. You're welcome to stand on the board if you want. Chicken setup. So back in the day, this used to be all the way down, but with the extended heat, I've had to raise this up. So this is now modified. to keep the chickens from their nesting box here where I gather the eggs, so I don't have to go in. So like that, so I can put this up and clean and harvest, do what I want to do, put this back down. This is protection from the sun and the rain and the whatever's going on. This has this gate section has wing nuts on the inside for those of you maybe wanting to copy something like this. So this section separates from the coop. So the coop then is on wheels. I got wheels over here. So I'll tractor it, move it over to the next position, level it down, add the gate back to it, and then put up the chicken wire, whatever that is. And I put a raised platform on it because during the heat, a little bit of airflow around them is a little bit better. Otherwise, they'll dig a hole and lay in the cool dirt. So the irrigation lines that are in there are keeping the soil cool, so they have a cool place to live in. We only have two. Two's enough for 2 people. In fact, it's 2 people and my neighbors, because you can only eat so many eggs. Now though, I found out that I can freeze eggs. What? You can crack an egg into a
ice cube,
slightly bigger ice tray, a 2x2x2. You can buy them that size. They take a whole egg. So you crack it in there, and you freeze it, and you just pop them out when you need them. I did all that glassing and all that stuff, and it all went sideways. Now I'm trying the freezer method. I like this because I'm getting too many eggs for me. Any questions about anything else around here?
What about your fence covering?
Fence covering, yeah, that's the construction site shade cloth material that they put up around the construction site. I just wanted to cover it because I like a private space.
You keep your mulberries trimmed, I'm guessing. You don't get all the
This is the first year they've been in the ground, so I got those mulberries in January of this year. So those are dwarf mulberries.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, tell the one in the middle that, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. You got it. So I have been, you can maybe tell if you came over, but I have been flattening it. So I want to be able to walk back here behind this space, to be able to get to the other things I have here, but I also want to get you to be able to harvest the fruits, but I'm fanning it out. Flat fan against the fence is the plan. So these are going to meet together, and then I'll leave them. I'll take them just above the fence line to take out the building behind. That's the purpose for all the rest of it, by the way. To take out the building behind. So not in permaculture terms, it's called not next door.
Oh, good. Not next door.
Yeah, so I leave my neighbor's oleander hedge up, but I prune it back. So as this is getting towards flowers, I'm going to want to get rid of all those things that are hanging this way. So I just do it. I've been doing it for 30 some years since I got in here. Mind your head.
Yes, I did notice it was there.
My solar drying line. Right, this is my fire zone. Behind you is the rocket stove for heating water. So whenever you want to heat water, have a bath or something like that, you feed the rocket stove with the wood in the bottom, and you heat this chimney up right here, and you heat the water up more efficiently that way. So that's just a demonstration rocket stove setup.
You burn the wood or
This is the burn chamber.
Yeah.
So you start the fire in here. It's just for looks right now. It's the wood, smaller wood. But then what happens is with a rocket stove is that you're concentrating the heat in the center, and then once you get it really going, it will roar. It literally like that. So it sounds like a rocket. which is why it got called the rocket stove.
Is this block on top solid or is it
No,
hollow?
none of this is
okay.
none of this is cemented in. You don't need to. So, but this you can literally just take this off. It's just the way I stacked it to make it as a chimney.
Special bricks.
These are fire bricks, so they can take the heat, man. They can take the heat.
Does it only take that little bit of wood? Like how
Yeah,
far would that little?
you just put twigs in it.
And it would just heat
Yeah.
up a whole bucket.
Well, we just have to keep feeding it, so it's not something you can move away from. You'll keep having to feed it. Now you can make a bigger rocket stove where you can put logs in it, but you don't need it for like just this little circumstances that we've got here. Appropriate size. Now the other side, turn your heads around, the other side is the area where I do my summer cooking. I do not cook in my oven in my house. Because what does it do? Heats up the house. What do I don't want to do? Heat up the house. So, because then I got to cool it again. So it's a double negative. Right? So I come out here and I have my sun oven. So what I'm going to do, we don't have much sun. So usually I'll set this up and I'll have someone record the temperature. And then we'll go away and do the rest of the tour. And then we'll come back and see how hot it gets. So usually it starts like around 80 or 100 in there. And by the time we're done with it, it's close to 300. You can cook whatever you kind of want in a 300-degree oven, even if it's this. It has a tempered glass. It has reflectors that concentrate all the sun into the center. Inside has a tray, so the box. So if it's winter time, you want to lower it because the sun is low. But in the summertime, you want to make it be up, right? And so you can adjust it with the leg on the back. It's technical without it being overly technical. It works with the sun. It's an amazing piece of technology. Costs as much as a cheap oven, about $350 right now. The new one is the all-American sun oven, and they have different gadgets to go with it. And drying racks, you can put the tab out, and you can leave the glass cracked. Now you can use it as a dryer. So you can, whatever you put on the bottom, you go. I cooked turkey in there once year, small turkey. I took the tray out, I put the turkey in the turkey bag, the oven bag, and I put it in here. Great turkey. I also have the Sport, which is behind the gentleman in the red. So there's a black box there. Is a plastic version of a sun oven. Yes. So we're going to pull that out. That's the Solar Oven Society. Now they've shipped these all around the world to help the women with cooking without having to suck up smoke while they're trying to cook the food for the people. And so this setup I cooked it. I cooked the reflectors. I left it in the back of my vehicle. I was on a camping trip. I went off for a hike, and the sun baked the reflectors before I finished my hike because it just happened to be that way. So to elevate my pots, I just used split bamboo. So there's split bamboo in there. Two pots go side by side. In that one, they go double stacked. You double stack the pots, these ones side by side, and then the reflectors just clip onto the holes that are around it, and then again concentrate it in there. This is double-sided, so this keeps all the heat in again. It's the same concepts, just a different model. This is more for, like I say, take it camping. Now I can cook my food while I go for a hike. Next time maybe. So I keep it for demonstration purposes now. You want that?
Yeah.
Now, also I have a campfire, and I can cook my food on my grill. This is my grill. I don't have any fancy grills. I just have this cheapy thing that has seen many years. It's foldable and backpackable. So that just goes there, and I'll just cook whatever I want on there, sausages or whatever. What else is in the sun? The sun is the solar drying line, and also that rack right there, that folding rack, that is also many of the Asians dry their clothes on a foldable rack. So this is pretty easy. I can move this around and put the small bits on here, socks and underwear and t-shirts and whatever. I can load it up. But also I still do wet wipes with cloth. So from Lily's early years in cloth diapers, we also do cloth wipes rather than, you know, have to throw stuff away all the time. We just triple wash them, and that's it. They're good to go for again. So I load this thing up with the wipes. It used to be diapers and wipes, but again, you can move this around in where the sun is at, and the solarization, the UV, is also the cleaner. So you open up the diapers, and then the sun gets in, and then now you've got solarized diapers ready for the next time. So, you know, there's so many things that we've forgotten that we need to remember, and that's why we need to share what we have known about for many years and make life easier again. It's getting way too complicated.
You're always looking for the easy way out, huh?
But yes, I don't quite understand. I'm showing my age, and that's okay. I don't mind.
Showing your wisdom.
Any questions about this area?
I guess just in general, like with all the water retention and everything, how are your mosquitoes?
Mosquitoes can bloom in here, and I'll get to that bit when we get to that corner. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right, so grape arbor right here. So my idea was, and I still struggle with it, is to grow the grape up the pole and then have the vegetation hanging from below the shade wires under here. Because then when the fruit comes along, whenever it does come along, I can put a bit of bird net, like a hammock, underneath. Now I've got top protection and bird protection from below, and I'll get my grapes. There's always the danger of grapes. The birds get them before I do. So this is a perlite or peerless, and that's a flame. So that will go red soon. It's a really beautiful autumn color, although it's actually more like winter color. But anyways, nettles. Who like green tea? This is the European green tea. Nettles, stinging nettles. Anyone remember stinging nettles? Yeah, I'm still scratching. But in England, wherever you find stinging nettles, you also found the remedy. The dock plant, D-O-C-K, the dockweed or dock plant. So you take the dock one and you crush it and you mash it in your hand and you stick it on the nettle bumps, and then 10 minutes later you're good to go and you're playing football again.
Is it different from burdock, or is it like this?
Not burdock.
Yes,
No,
the yellow dock.
it's like a yellow dock kind of, yeah. Dock. We just called it dock plant because that was all that was growing there.
Do you grow it in a pot because it would spread all over?
Yes, yes. It starts to migrate, so you keep it in a pot, and I can move it around. But this is like year 5 in a pot, in the heat. Still comes up when it rains. It pops up when it rains, and then I just harvest it and I'll put it in a coffee grinder or something like that, and then I'll store it and I'll have my European green tea. It's excellent too for hair wash. It's loaded with silica, so it's great for the body, hair, skin, nails, all of that. Great. And I can also use it as a fertilizer with comfrey and nettle fertilizer tea. All the Brits do it. You go on any of the Brit channels and they talk about their nettle tea and their comfrey tea, and it's just a way of making liquid fertilizer on your home property with your own plants that you're growing yourself, and you just use it. It's there already. The less you have to go to the box stores and spend actual money, the better. Some things you have to, and some things. Continuation of the sun zone. So this is my solar collector for my body, right here. 20 minutes in the sun in the morning, I'm good to go. I got my vitamin D going like a champ, and my immune system's boosted with the sun all over my body, and I'm good to go. Which is again about the privacy of the thing, because I'm nude out here, because you get the sun over your whole torso for 20 minutes is the right prescription. I am prescribing that for you all. Backing up just a little bit, so I've got a couple of tools here. So here's that water drill I was talking about. Down at the end of here, there's two holes. One goes sideways and the other goes the other sideways, equivalent to the handles. Hook it up to the water hose from the house, so you got pressure. So now once the water goes on, the jets are just going sideways about 6 feet. And you put it in the ground and you twist it. That's the drill effect. And it just goes down, and I buried it. All of those potholes that you saw out there are this drill going down that far, breaking through that pan that was this deep. Now once you've done that, you could use something like this. It's a deep soaker. Got a little hole right here. You can put the dripper or your drip irrigation system inside, cap it so the bugs don't get in, and then the water comes out the bottom. So it's a deep water soaker for your trees. So use your drill or an auger, make a hole next to your tree, put the deep soaker in there or another pipe with holes in it and a cap on the bottom, and now you can deep water continuously easier without having to use this drill all the time. Because you do break into a sweat using this thing. I mean, I'm like pushing with all my weight, you know, all my upper torso weight, trying to go through the compaction layer. But it's a wonderful tool in our Arizona soils, especially our clay soils. Don't need it for silt, don't need it for sand, you just need it for clay. So what's in your yard? You got clay? Clay? I'm doing a quick review. Anyone else? Own it up. Come on, own up. Own up. Do you have clay or not? Clay. Silt? Gravel? Anyone near a mountain?
I don't know. Caliche.
Caliche is even worse. Caliche is where the hard minerals are all collected into a hard pan layer and they calcify, and so it's really hard to get through. And water won't go through, it's an impermeable layer.
We have raised beds because of it.
Yes. Yes. Pardon?
Or once you break through?
Once you break through, it's good for a year. I'd say repeat every year, because it's gonna keep going. Yes. Yeah, right here. So I'm going to back up. Some of you can back up. I want you to look at the gathering here. So in this, this was a Phoenix Permaculture Guild Permablitz project. Put it in the cistern, and then the other thing was putting in my water catchment area. But we'll talk about the water on the roof and the cistern first. So just the center section of this back side of the house one 1-inch rain, 400 gallons in the tank. So this is my cheat. This is how I fill up my watering can or my bottles or whatever. So this also tells me where the water level is. This is rainwater. So the water level is all the way to the top pretty much. So the thing's full. So what I'm going to be doing probably next week is I'll hook it up to the light green one and I'll run that out to my 55-gallon drums and I'll transfer some of that water into the drums next to the flower bed or where I need it. Or if I want to make, nettle and comfrey tea, then I'm going to fill a drum, fill it with rainwater, and then I'm going to stir it for 2 weeks non-stop. No, I'm going to stuff it down in there, I'm going to ram it down, pack it down in there, and then I'm going to pull off whatever liquid comes off the top, and then I'm going to add more water and keep it going for about 3 months. I mean, we're talking about stewing the vegetables to make the fertilizer in cold stewing. So we're going to do it that way. So the water drops down in there. So the cistern is concreted into the ground inside. There's no concrete outside. All the concrete is inside to keep the water in there. Now, where the tap is just a short one that comes out, and that's where the tap is at. So it's just a short 4 inches high. Never, ever, ever, never, ever take out all the water from your water barrels, because you want that bacteria to replenish for the next time. It keeps the water clean. If there's a solid roof on and an insect net on, you don't get any debris in there, which doesn't then ferment inside. Keep it clean, keep the sun off of it, no algae, keep the bugs out of it, no bugs. Now, the last thing is you never, ever, ever want the water to breach the outside and undermine the foundation. So inside is a 4-inch pipe, 2 inches from the top. So the water will go in there before it goes out there, right? Okay, so now it's going to go, confirm please, madam, that there is an black outlet right there, can you see it? Okay, so that's from the inside, goes down across, and it exits there where I've got my giant lilies. So that's my cistern plan. Now, the house is like this, the patio is like that, the cistern sits right here. Now, what I did is right about where your foot is at. No, take it right there. I'm gonna swish around like this. Comes over here and goes all the way along the edge of the concrete. So we're talking about that 8-inch deep, 4-inch pipe rock. So I'm intercepting the water as it's flowing this way based on how the contractor graded it, and then I'm going to accumulate it in the perforated pipe, and I'm going right now to the perforated pipe example. So you can hand this around. Now, so this has perforations in it. So as the water is coming along the surface of the ground, it goes down through the rock into the perforated pipe. The T on there allows me to turn the water from the pipe back to a number of locations from whence it came. There's another black one over there behind you. So there's another one here. I'm just doing some marks on there. There's another one behind the gentleman in green again. So there's another one goes this way. It goes all the way to there, over there, and there's one more under your feet, sir, and it goes to that black pot that's over there. So I'm taking the surface water, which is flowing toward the house, problem, solution, I need it back over here. So the solution was to move the water back towards the fence line and park the water back where it's needed. Over there, what I have is surface 12-inch post hole, 12 by 3 feet deep, with a 4-inch pipe in the center that has holes in it to distribute the water. So the water pipe, this one, this transfer pipe, come on. You gotta get there, come on. It's gonna transfer the water from 8 inches over here to 12 inches there. Thus I've got a 4-inch drop from here to here, moving the water passively. Everyone got the math? Math is sometimes the hard part to get them to. So now the pipe is coming from the trench, which is over here. Look at the blue lines. And then the pipe is going to travel over there to this setup.
And that's
where that is. So where that is, there's a, slide this off for a sec. There's a 12-inch hole right there. There's a 4-inch pipe inside, and then there's a cap on top. And the transfer pipe meets it lower than its source to sink. You need elevation change.
You don't take it all the way back.
I don't take it all the way back. It's in the zone, it's in the root zone of that, for one thing.
Oh.
And if I can capture and return water back to where I need it without it breaching my patio and having the water come over here in a 2-inch rain, then I'm doing my job right. Right? But when I have that 2-inch rain in 30 minutes, it still comes over. It still can't keep up with the volume and the yeah. So that's Titmus makes water go uphill headline in the Mesa Tribune a few years ago, because she got it. The reporter got it. You make water go uphill. Wow. And it's HOA. No way. Jose, we can do it, right? In the front garden, doesn't matter. You're trenching for your irrigation, but you're sneaking in the drainage pipe. Once the covering's done and the plants are all legal, it doesn't matter what's going on underground. Now you're still harvesting water and they don't know. They will never know.
They don't want you harvesting
Pardon?
water like that? Your HOA actually has rules against?
No, I'm talking in general, because far too many people are in the HOA situation, and I always get questions about that. Well, how can I have a drum out front? Well, you buy the drum that has the planter on top. It's a big planter. It just stands this high, but it's got a beautiful 6-inch rim on it where you can put potting soil and you can have your vegetables grow or your flowers growing over, and it looks very pretty, but the tank is full of water.
That's a great idea.
Subversive.
I'm a guerrilla gardener, mate. Guerrilla gardener.
Is your roof specially? Did you put this in specially for collecting rainwater, and this
Yes.
was just the roof that was on?
It's wind-proof, it's fireproof, it's hail-proof, and I'll never have to fix it again. It's a 40 to 50-year roof, one and done. I did it in 2017 with my daughter and I and the Mexicans up on the roof, and I got the Iron Mountain Metal Roof Company of Mesa. I arranged to do sweat equity, so I did once they peeled off the asphalt, then I repaired the 4x8 sheets of plywood, the decking, because whenever you have an evaporative cooler, you're always going to have some leaks here and there. So now I have no problem because it's all sealed. It's actually double sealed underneath, and I get a little bit of water runoff from the evap cooler, but again, that's not a problem. Most of it actually goes out to the citrus tree on the other side, and we're good. So that's a good question.
Is it safe to harvest water from like just a
Absolutely.
regular shingled roof?
The shingle roof, no, because it off-gases the petroleum that makes up the tar. That is the foundation of the grit and tar.
So in that case, you wouldn't want to.
No, I wouldn't use it in my garden. I can use this in my garden,
Okay.
but I can. But if I had my shingle roof still, it would still go to the trees.
The trees, yeah.
Any of the
So,
ornamentals.
as long as you're not eating.
Yes, any of the shade trees, just don't eat the green leafies.
Yeah.
It's still fine. Yeah, still fine on any
Oh,
fruit.
like citrus. Okay. That's
Yeah, citrus is fine because it doesn't transfer to the fruit.
If you can still use it.
Yeah, the tree is the filter. Good question.
You mentioned having bacteria in there. Did you introduce something to get a healthy microbiome or whatever in your water to begin with, or?
The dust in the air is full of it. It doesn't take just a little smidge of dust on the roof, to come in. It takes a little while to get going. You could take somebody else's starter, cooking word, the starter from someone else's rain harvesting bin. You can put it in yours. Like you need to take someone else's compost, finished compost, and put it in your new compost to start the process. Yes, it's like that. It's important.
Are your gutters covered or?
Nope, mine are not covered.
So does that all go into the?
Because I have a ladder, because I have an evap cooler, because I have a walkable metal roof, I take me up on the roof and clean my roof before the rain comes. So I am a rain logger and a rain harvester. Yes, I clean my roof, I blow it off, get it ready with my electric battery powered thing. Yes.
He's covering his ears.
No, it's not that loud, sunshine.
He thought you were going to use the blower.
Yeah, I'm not. No. Yes, so I clean my roof, and I'll come through and I'll clean up. I don't have leaves, I have pine needles. So I clean out the pine needles, and yes, so the less debris that I can move away, the less goes in the tank. So I don't have to drain the tank and get in there and shovel it out every 2 or 3 years. I might have to do it every 5 to 6 years. But now I got to have a step ladder to get it in and a step ladder to get it down.
Do you just like close it out or?
No.
No, you can actually go in.
No, I go in. It's easier just to go in, just deal with it. Yeah. Yeah.
On your description here, you were cleaning out, you said you have a cover on the top plus an anti-mosquito.
Yeah, the mosquito netting is there, and then the solid cap on it
stops the algae.
Stops the algae because it stops the sun hitting the water.
Right, but I mean, would you really get mosquitoes if you have an actual?
Yeah, because it sits for a while.
And then, but you had also something for keeping
the overflow. It's an
that's just for the overflow.
Interior overflow.
Not for bacteria.
No, not for the bacteria. I want to make it so easy that you can never say, well, I can't do what he did. So I have my bucket brigade. So I have no gutter. Just a line of buckets. 1 1-inch rain, 5 gallons of water in every bucket. It's that simple. Just get paint buckets, and you just put them in the sun and let them dry out, and then you can just literally pull off whatever paint is left, latex paint, and then your bucket's ready to go with the water. Now I can pick up a bucket and I can move it out to the trees or wherever I want. Wherever I need extra, I'll take it to.
But you gotta worry about the mosquito. I mean, the mosquito.
I will address that.
Okay.
You don't need to use food grade buckets?
No, because it's water. And I'm not putting it on my green veggies.
Oh, okay. Depends. Okay.
The trees. On the trees.
Because I do buckets, but I always thought you had to buy the food grade.
If you can afford it, then go ahead, because then you can put it everywhere.
I'd rather
But I don't. This is where I take my water and put it in my watering cans with my liquid fertilizer set up, and so I take it straight from the cistern, which I know is good to go. So I feed my plants out there from the rainwater that's gathered here. But it's good. Excellent. Yes. People can see I have a four-way manifold on my tap, on my faucet, my tap. So the black one is my watering the pots and watering the compost pile. Wand right here, my wand. Expelliarmus. And then the other one is this one, which when I turn it on, you might move this way. So another reason for me to have privacy is my outdoor shower. So every time I work outdoors in the summer, I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm dusty, and I don't want to take that in the house, so I just take it there. And when does a tree need more water?
Always.
In the summer. So I'm taking me outside of the house to shower, and so now I'm stacking functions. I'm keeping the water outside for the tree, and I'm keeping the dust out of the house, and that's a twofer. That's good for me. So that's how I like doing things. Over here, the mosquito question, I'm coming back to that. Who was the mosquito question? Yeah, okay. So come this way, since you asked. You can verify. Come on around. Okay. Now, can you see the mosquitoes? Just stand. There you go.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay. So inside of here are the gambusia fish. The fish from the African tropical zones, the rivulets in there, the very shallow, non-flowing water. So the gambusia minnow, a top minnow from Africa, is utilized here because we got a warm climate. There's only a problem if it freezes, and so the mosquitoes lay their eggs in the still water, and it takes about 3 days for that to become a pollywoggy kind of thing, and then a few more days before it's an actual adult. So if these buckets are used by the 3 days, they're not going to sit here much longer. By Monday or Tuesday, when I have time, these buckets are going to get redistributed, so there'll be no water in them. Now in here, what's happening is the mosquitoes lay their eggs in there, but then the minnows eat the pollywogs. So there'll be an initial flush of area mosquitoes because they can smell this stagnant water for 3 miles, and they'll migrate over here, but then after a while the whole neighborhood will drop in the mosquito population.
Do you get dragonflies too, or just mosquitoes?
Dragonflies do come over here. I get lots of birds come in here because I have a pot in the middle, so they can either sit on the edge or on the pot, and they can get their water. So it's for the birds, it's for the bees, it's for the mosquitoes, it's for the gambusia. Right, stacking function. The only reason I have the shade cloth here is to keep the pine needles out of the pond, so I don't have to clean the pond. I'm a lazy designer.
Smart.
Yeah, I do it on paper. Anything else in here? This is my worm bin. I have a few different plants along here that tolerate the shade. I just like having other things growing besides what's out in my front garden.
Can you do worms year round in there?
I don't. The summer cooks them. Even being in the coolest part of the outdoor of the building and under this tree and me putting water on it, there still has some issues. The time.
Your fish will be able to aerate the water at all?
No aeration. No, they're designed to live in stagnant water. Cats do get them, but they don't get to the fish. The fish are too small and they hide behind the pot. That's the other reason why that pot's there. There's a little tiny gap between the pot and the wall, and they can't get back. They have a place to run. Yeah, just like in a fish pond, you always have an overhanging slab over sections of your fish pond. That's the place where the fish can go and be protected from herons and cats and things like that. Yeah, we're not done yet. Costing segment over there. I will talk a little bit about this area because it's kind of like my experiment. So I'm experimenting with a dwarf peach in the shade because I can't grow them out there anymore. It's too darn hot anymore. There's not enough water. So I'm doing it in a pot this time. So it's a dwarf peach experiment. We'll see. It's gone through its first summer, okay. But still, I'm still got my fingers and legs crossed.
Is it a bonanza?
No, yes, you're right. It's a bonanza miniature peach. Thank you. Yes.
That one that's about this tall.
I know they do get big.
Almost went under last summer, but it's still doing
I'm going to
good.
keep it smaller.
Nice.
Right. So I like canners, but you know, I tried them out front, but I couldn't get them going. So I'm getting them going in a pot, and then I'm going to transfer it into the front bed out front, and then occasionally I can go in and harvest the roots. You know the roots are edible, right, on the canner?
No, what do you
Good info.
You eat them.
raw or cooked?
No, yes, cooked. Yeah, they're in the potato. They're starches. This like a potato starch, or like this cassava. Is cassava a starch?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, it's like that. So you would add it to a stew pot, most likely. So that's that in process. This I rescued from one of my customers. It was dying, it was pathetic, so I brought it back to life. I just needed the shade. Over here I'm doing different things. So comfrey this year is growing there. So that arrived by mail from Greg Peterson, that's now living in North Carolina. So that come all the way from North Carolina 3 weeks ago. And look at that, that was just a bunch of roots. And then there's another one in the pot that I'm going to give Elise tomorrow at the Sunday tour. So I'm going to give that to her. So that's kind of how big it was when it. This is still in the paper wrapper. I've just healed it in. It's just mulch around it. She can put it in bare root. So I'll take that with me tomorrow. But that's what I'm going to grow and grow and grow, and then I'll. Towards the end of spring, I'll be harvesting, you know, big fat leaves like that, and putting it into that drum and making my own fertilizer for the rest of summer, and keep some for the next season. If you concentrate it enough, you can keep it going. Over there, I have my baker's rack with my starts. So I'm trying different things. Like I took a bunch of cuttings off of this firecracker bush, this yellow, orange flowering thing behind the chair there. So I'm trying some of those. I'm trying some yerba mansa. I got yerba mansas growing over there next to the nettles. So again, having your own pharmacy on your farm is a good thing to have. So growing things around that you can use later. So I like doing that. I like growing, this is borage, so I'll be growing borage, so there's 4 seeds in there, and all 4 grew, imagine that. So that's now growing. I haven't figured out what I'm doing in there yet. Some color for me and the plants, and that's another thing.
Do you get pine nuts from
No pine nuts from this. The pine nuts come from the pinon pine, and this is from Syria and Afghanistan. This is the This is the Aleppo pine. So it's broader than it is taller. And so the Aleppo pine, it was about half this size, maybe a quarter this size when I first moved in this up because I harvested this yesterday. So
you're good. You're okay.
This is what
Squeeze
I
in.
processed through this half-inch grid. Now let me get in there, and I can hold it up so that others can see it. So this half-inch grid frame sits on the wheelbarrow. It's the size of the wheelbarrow. So then you take your pitchfork out and you throw it in there and you do the shaky bakey. And then you flip the rest over your shoulder. Literally, the pile was here, the wheelbarrow was there, so I'm shaking it out there and I'm throwing it over my shoulder, literally like a pinch of salt for good luck. And then so you keep moving the coarser material into the next one. You're always reintroducing it back, just like a sourdough starter. You keep putting new stuff in and you keep adding the old, and you keep the never-ending cycle. And there's another story. Never-ending story. Now I also have a 1/4 inch frame on a 2x2, not a 2x4. So then I could take this and make it even less coarse. So that coarse stuff would be set aside, and then the real fines, that's good for go on top of the seeds. If you do seed production, you're making your own trays of seeds. So that's what that's for. I also take this with me, or a smaller version actually, the 1/4. When I go camping, I take the smaller one with me, and so I only bring the charcoal back, don't bring the ash back. Why? Because the ash is alkaline, and I already have alkaline soil, so I don't want to add more alkaline nature to my soil. Even though there's minerals, I get that part. But I don't want the alkaline aspect of the ash. I want to acidify. I get, you know, when I find gallon jugs of vinegar, I'll bring that back and I'll pour vinegar on my vegetables. I want to acidify my soil. I use my pine needles. Look, my browns and my pine needles. That's pretty much all I've got, except for when I harvest from other trees. But then I keep my greens. This is trimmed off yesterday. And greens are in here, greens are in here, greens are in here. So I combine my greens and browns together, because greens are the fire and browns are the logs for the decomposition to happen. The browns are decomposed by the fungi, and the greens are decomposed by the bacteria. Okay, so that's combining the two, breaks it down, ends up looking like that. Ends up looking like that. This is what I put in my soil, or on top as a soil cover. I just make it less big for when I put it on the seedlings. That's all. So this is my base. This is what would go in the tea bag for the bioremediation. It's full of fungi and bacteria right in there. Again, I'm mimicking the soil forest. Behind you, ladies, if you want to separate a little bit right there. So now I have two primary bins that are basically a cubic yard. 3 by 3 by 3 is the magic number. This was just built up yesterday. So I'm going to show you this piece. So I'm using my vapid cooler pads. So you can see in here, when I start to break this down, that this is already breaking down in here. This has got lots of big bits in it still, but that's what I separated out from the finished material. So everything goes in here. So I just keep putting it in there. So that one's finishing, whereas this one's just starting.
But you have them both covered.
I have them both covered.
Why is that?
Keep the moisture in. So I want to keep the moisture in, especially since the sun is, in the summer, is setting down over here. I get the last gasp of the summer sun and the heat. This is a deflector for the heat from the sun. That's why there's bits of wood here. But you need to moisturize the thing. So you see that hole there and that hole there? I can stick my water hose wand through the fence and water my compost without dragging the hose around.
Smart.
So here you'll begin to start to see some breakdown. It's only been done a day, but if you're open to it, just stick your hand down in there now. Someone vouch for me. Is it getting warm?
Yeah, it's warmer.
It's warmer, and one day it's starting to decompose, right? Combining the essential ingredients. You need air, you need water, you need bacteria, fungi, and the greens and the browns. Combine it all together in thermal mass mode, meaning that the reason why you have to turn a pile is you have to mix the dry edges with the moist middle. So the middle globe in the middle is where the heat is at, and that's decomposing, and you get a compost thermometer because it tells you what's going on in the center of the pile, and then this takes the guesswork out. So when it's in the red zone, that's where you want to get. You're killing all the weed seeds, all the detrimental bacteria, you know, the bad stuff. All the good stuff is good. There's again, like I said out front there, the different bacteria. So there's different bacteria for different levels of heat. There's the 90s heat, there's the 1000 heat, and there's the 2000 heat. I'm doing years instead of temperature, but you get the idea. The 90s to the 100s to the 110s. So you want to stay in that place between the green and the red, to at least get something. But in the red zone, up to 140 degrees, you're killing the seeds.
How long does it have to stay that hot?
Until it's finished. And you just.
Well, I mean to kill the seeds. I mean, if you hit that.
It only needs a day at 106 to kill the seeds. You don't need much. You don't need long. If you can bring it up for a day or two at 106, 120, 140, anywhere in there, you're going to kill the seeds. You just got to bring it up enough to kill that, kill the enzymes, the living factor of the plant. That's good. Any questions about this area? Oh, this barrel is just for the air conditioning unit. So this is distilled water that comes out of here and goes in there, but that's also hooked up to a hose which goes to the tree. Can you see the hose pipe that's running down off the roof to the tree?
Yeah.
So the tree gets 4 sources of water, 5 if you include. So it gets the rain, it gets the drip system, it gets the distilled water from here to there, it gets the rain tank from the front garden to here, and it gets the evaporative cooler flush once a day from the evaporative cooler on the roof. There's a little extra pump that has a 24-hour timer on it. Once you turn on the system, that little flush will drain the reservoir, the tank of water, flush that out, and then new fresh water comes in. So there's only fresh water, air coming into the building. So you don't get the accumulation of anything detrimental, you don't get the sneezes and things like that when you take that stuff out. So having a pump to pump the water around the system and a pump to pump the water out of the reservoir, you've got a better and more efficient evaporative cooler.
Is that the only water the tree gets? Do you water extra?
I don't do anything more than what these 4 things can do for it. It also has a little bit of water off of the shed water runoff. So it gets enough. I mean, it struggled during the summer, but now it's just like, oh, I'm happy again. So it'll be fine to produce its flowers in the spring and fruit. It's not the best fruit in the world. It's more of a juicer. It's not the best tree. It is what it is.
How much cooler is it in this area in the summer than the rest of your yard?
Like 10, 15 degrees. With the evaporative cooling effect of the tree, you know, under this canopy you get that invisible mist of moisture in the air under the tree, and it's just so much easier. And that's one of the reasons why I chose to put the mini bee over in this corner. A, it was out of the way. B, I couldn't have the bees there anymore. I used to have 2 top bar hives over there, so they're horizontal hives, not vertical hives. They still use the Langstroth formula of bee space, but it's not vertical, it's horizontal. So when you harvest from the back. It's that simple. It's pretty basic. The Peace Corps are one of the people that put together, and they introduced it through Latin America, Africa, India, everywhere where resources were finite, and if they had a log or a drum or a barrel or any kind of open container and put the top bars across it, you had a hive. You just had to have a space for the bees to be inside, out of the temperature, out of the heat. Material rack. So this area right here is materials waiting for a project that I don't know that I have yet. And so in permaculture terminology we call it the boneyard. You know, I have the composting set up right in here with my storage containers for different materials. There's clay, there's some ashes, there's in case I want to make soap, there's compost, there's leaves, there's greens, there's browns, there's chicken manure over here. You clean up the chicken coop, and this gets mixed into the pile and distributed through the pile in here, which increases the heat inside and adds more nitrogen. Then I have my tool shed and my storage area, and food still growing. There's food everywhere. Even though it's a storage area, there's still food. You always need shade. So
you don't have bees anymore?
I do not have honeybees anymore. Because the honeybees were there and the compost was here, every time I tried to turn the compost, the bees would be dive bombing me because they didn't like the smell of me interrupting their peace and quiet. So the bees had to be relocated. So I found another farm for them to go. I gave them away. They're theirs now. It's just how it happened. But I still have all the pollinating blocks, the nesting blocks. The blocks are behind you.
How many do you have?
So I have there's 2 there. There's 1 over there. I have 3 or 4 blocks. So it's just a 4x4 block, and then I put 4 in a row. So there's 4 rows in here, and the 4 rows would come straight down in here. So you drill not all the way through, so you don't go into the back, and then in each tunnel a new female bee would go in, and they'd lay an egg, put food, seal it up. That's the mason part, putting the wall up, and then they repeat it. Egg, food, wall, egg, food, wall, egg, food, wall, about 6 times. So every time a new female comes in here to lay eggs, 6 new bees come out. And imagine that by times 30 or 40 or whatever many holes you have. So again, you're doing a community service to your neighborhood. They travel in about a 200-yard, 200-meter range, where honeybees will go up to 2 miles. That's why they get so exhausted. That's why a female honeybee lasts about 6 weeks. 6 weeks of life. for the worker bee. Not my idea of fun.
What size hole? I noticed that. What size hole?
5/16 of an inch. Not a quarter. 5/16. Just that smidge over. You just got to allow them to be able to get in and out. They got to be able to get in and then back out, or turn around and back and come out. Now the leaf rolling bee, which also comes in, is slightly smaller, and they still line the nest with the bougainvillea or the whatever bits and pieces. They still line it inside. They like to decorate. The mason bee doesn't care. Just get her done. Where the leaf roller, well, I want it pretty. I want a nice purple wall. So that's why these blocks are over here. They're future bee blocks. These are native to this area. So we have quite a few native bees. The carpenter bee is native to this area. There are bumbles, but very few. They're endangered right now. There's a number of bumbles. Now the solitary pollinator bees are the leaf roller, the miner, which I can put in the bee block. But we also have the miner bees, and they literally go down about a foot, and then they do lateral channels, just like in a coal mine. Go down the shaft in lateral channels, and the miner bee does that in our sandy soils. They like to be in the sandy soils, which I don't have, so I don't have miner bees. But one of the places that I go to recreate with the lovely hot springs, they have miner bees up the wazoo. There's this big patch, 20 foot by 10 foot. I mean, you can see them. There's just like this sea of swarm bees going around, all trying to find their hole. They're all trying to find, okay, where did I come out of? Where's my hole again? It's quite interesting. I got photos, of course.
So on your mason bee house, you don't have to do anything to that. But
No.
in the cold, they take care of it.
Every once in a while, it gets kind of clogged up, and then let's take that one down. It's got a few in it that you'll find there. So you can see that this one's already been used again. See, someone's already drilled back in, but that one over there is still sealed.
And they let themselves out.
They let that, yeah, the new one that goes in will clean it back out. So it's self-cleaning for a while until it gums up. At some point, there's so much gum in there, propolis and stuff like that, the sugars from the pollen and all of that, I just go back and just re-drill it. I just re-drill it in midwinter. That's my Yule job.
How do you tell if it's all gummed up? Because mine are.
Just when no one else wants to go back in, it's all crusty like that. They get crusty and no one wants to go back in. So I just re-drill them.
Are they about done this time of year, or
they're not active? They've all left.
And there's no babies left.
No, they come back in the spring.
Like what?
February, March, they'll start coming back into April, and then the eggs will come out. If you've got ones in there all winter, then they're going to come out first.
Because I think I've noticed the activity kind of slowing down, and I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I should go back.
The only thing I added was a picture hanger. That's it. There's that one little picture hanger. No paint on the front, because they can't land on slick paint, and no wood treatment in there. No arsenic, for one. None of that green impregnated wood. That's not good. Old fence wood is the best. Go around your neighborhood when someone's taking down a wooden fence and harvest all the 4x4s you can. You can never have enough 4x4s. Like the permaculture design course will be held at. We're going to go to multiple locations. Elise, the tour tomorrow afternoon out in South Tempe, she's one of the locations. I'm one of the locations. The classroom is held in my living room area, and we do our group projects and things outside. We're out in the middle of the street when we do one thing, and we're in the back garden doing something else. We try and mix it up where it's partly indoors, partly outdoors, as much as possible, practically possible. And these are the dates on here if you're able to do it. So it starts in Feb, ends in May, and it's there's weekends in between. So hopefully you're able to take off the weekend. It's a Saturday and Sunday model. There you go. And then we're working on building that. I got the teapot in case you want to contribute to my tea fund. Zelle, if you have that to contribute for the tour. And thank you very much for all being here. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. This was wonderful.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share it. Follow us on Facebook at Bee Oasis. You can email permidon@gmail.com to join our contact list. Thank you for being here.